Good afternoon, friends. Brian here from Guitars and Cigars. So, how many of you have multiple guitars that you use on a regular basis? I'm sure I'm not alone. I've got one that's in standard tuning. Actually, I have a couple. I have a Strat and I have a Les Paul. I've got a Telly that I usually do in drop D. I've got a Strat that is set up for open D slide tuning. And I've also got an Ibanez that I use on a regular basis that's dropped C. Need to get my Zach Wild on. As such, I have multiple stands. That can be a little bit cumbersome. So what I did is I did some research. I went on to the Amazon, found a couple of stands that looked like they would be a good fit, and did some reviews. Read what everybody had to say, looked at the 5-star rating on it, and I picked one. What I ended up picking was a 7-guitar stand by the company that used to make car stereo equipment, as far as I know, Pyle. Back in the day, in the late 80s, I used to install car stereos, and Pyle was a huge name in the car stereo industry. They used to make amazing subwoofer boxes, subtubes, and what have you. Sorry, I digress, but that's the history of Pyle that I know. So I got this stand in from the Amazon man, dropped it off last night. Took it out of the box, came in like 6 pieces, a couple bags of screws and bolts, and went together in about 10 to 12 minutes. I was fairly impressed. The overall quality so far is good. I cannot complain. Is it something that I would want to put, some sort of 59 burst Les Paul in? No, because I'd have like armed guards with something like that. But I have an Alex Lifeson Les Paul custom. I've got a 86 Strat. I've got a 2001 Strat. So, I've got some stuff that I certainly don't want falling on the ground. So I needed to get a stand that, I could keep this stuff safe, so to speak. So I think this stand will do that. What I'm going to do over the next month is put it through its task, taking the guitars in and out, making sure that it withstands that type of abuse. Again, I'm not out gigging. I'm not a live player that goes out and does the Daytona music scene. That's, I haven't done that in a long time. That was back in Massachusetts, again, back in the late 80s. But I think overall this stand will do the job. It's padded. As I said, it's got its slots for 7 guitars. Currently, let me see what I've got in there. I've got a bass, I've got a Telly, and 2 Strats, and my drop C Ibanez is in there as well. I do not leave my Alex Lifeson Access Les Paul out. It's always in the case if I am not playing it, as that is my pride and joy. I just picked that up about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Haven't had a lot of chance to do a bunch with it, but I am going to be doing an overall first impression review, as well as we're going to go over the different sounds and tones you can get with this guitar. That will come over the next week, as well as we're starting a Line 6 Catalyst how-to video series. I own a 200-watt Catalyst that'll literally peel the beard off of my face at 200 watts, but it's a little bit on the technical side to get going and to get your tones. I played around with one in one of the local music stores before I purchased it. I really liked what it was able to do, and as such, we're going to do a how-to video series on how to get different sounds, tones, what's the original setup. We're also going to talk about the computer interface.
Brilliant. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
So I did the unboxing video, and I did a video of me putting it together. You're going to see me fumbling around a little bit. I got some arthritis in my hands here, but it was relatively easy to put together. Again, it took me 10 to 12 minutes maybe. Minimal tools. And yeah, overall, so far, it seems like it's a fairly quality stand for $35, which is what it was on Amazon. So, you know, I can't complain with that price-wise. So, more to come about it. Like I said, in about a month, we'll be putting out a review on how the stand's doing overall. And then we will go from there. So we appreciate you. Again, Brian from Guitars and Cigars. Check us out on all the socials. And you have yourself a fantastic day.